All right, guys, welcome back to the King Closer Reacts. Today, we're going to be finding out if Tyler Osborne is a closer or not. So, the call that we're going to be reacting to is actually a follow-up call. He had already come to an agreement, sent the contract, and then the seller had some objections that Tyler had to overcome. He said this is a good call because it includes quite a few objections that he had to overcome. So, let's bring him up. And let's find out if Tyler Osborne is a closer or not.
One of the questions that I had was clear down. So I'm not going to find it now. I didn't know what something meant because I hadn't heard of it before. Okay, let's just start off with, what's the difference between a normal, you sit down at a bank or a lawyer's office or some office and everybody sits at the table and there's all these papers that have to be signed, and then the money gets dispersed to where it goes, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And this one.
So before Tyler even responds here, I just want to interject and say this is very typical for how these conversations, the follow-up conversation when there's an objection in regards to the contract, is going to go, right? Sellers are not professional real estate sellers, right? They're just more looking for that confirmation that they're not getting ripped off, they're not getting scammed, because there's not a realtor involved, right? Everything that she just described actually would take place at the title company. She just doesn't know that because there's not a realtor involved, and quite frankly, it just probably wasn't a part of the original conversation. So this is a completely normal objection. I'm looking forward to hearing Tyler's answer to this, because this needs to be something that he kind of rattles off a really solid response here to kind of lower the guard and build that credibility with the seller.
In this kind of, what's the difference between that kind and this kind?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same, and we're going to use a title company, so we can do all that. Like, if you would rather do it like at closing time, you can do all that in person. So I'll just use a title company. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband doesn't feel real comfortable with signing anything before we're sitting down, or even before you come and see it. I know you've seen all the pictures, but still, you know, I just,
yeah.
What it is.
So this is interesting, right? The one question was almost kind of referring to the closing process. Now the objection has shifted to signing the contract prior to Tyler seeing the property. Another very common objection. And this is funny how kind of objections can like compound upon themselves, and it's like, well, you haven't seen the property, and how do I know this isn't a scam, and all of these different things. It's just nerves, right? No one wants to be screwed over. They read about things, they hear about things on the internet. Very common objection here. Curious to see how Tyler kind of handles this, because that was a complete shift in from my vantage point, how I understood what she was asking of the original objection.
I got scammed twice now, and once with my husband. And so, not on selling the home, but trying to borrow money, and I got scammed out quite a bit of money.
Oh, jeez.
And so he doesn't feel real comfortable with signing anything, and then, you know, later is when we get the money, because, you know, we've heard tales of people that's gotten scammed out of their houses. And I'm not saying that you are, please don't take it offense.
Yeah.
But we just, you know, we couldn't afford that right now.
Yeah. I mean, no one can ever afford that. I totally get it, especially nowadays. You never know.
I know the scams work both ways. I really do. I know the scams work both ways, and that's why my husband said that he would prefer if we're all sitting at a table somewhere and we're all signing the papers and everything gets dispersed, or whatever that word is, all at that same time. And I will tell you that, I went down and checked again on my title.
Okay, so before we hear about what she's about to say with the title, I have to say, I do like how Tyler is just allowing her to speak. So often the closer wants to make it about them. They want to immediately interject. They want to impose their knowledge and their wisdom about real estate and talk about how many deals that they've done and all of that. He's really doing a great job of just kind of allowing her to express her emotions and how her and her husband are feeling about this, and even kind of divulging the information about previously being scammed on a loan. He's just allowing her to speak. This is very key to gathering all the information before you start trying to solve it. Really understand what is the actual problem here. Is it really that you think you're getting scammed, or is it really the fear that you've been scammed in the past and you just don't know if you can make the correct decision at this point?
There is 2 liens against it. Okay, I already knew about one of them, but I didn't know about the other one. But I'm gonna do whatever. One of them's taxes, I guess, is what they're telling me, and it's like $58 or something, or $134.
No, that ain't bad.
Well, there was a second one, but there was 2 tax ones, but I just took the paper down yesterday, and that one is released now, because I got the papers from the taxation place saying that I paid that one off. And so I have this other one, and then that one's done. The other lien I already knew about. It is the city has a lien against it because there's a program they offered 5 years ago. It was called CHIPS. And basically what they would do is they would come into your home and do one or 2 things. They'd either do safety things, which ramps, you need your furnace replaced, those kind of things. And you didn't have to pay anything back.
Oh, that's nice.
The other one, I went with the other one because the other one would also do siding on your house, and I had no siding on my house at that time because we ripped it all off. They would put siding on your house and do almost anything else in your house that was needed. So they put siding all the way around the house, and they put gutters all the way around the house, and they did the back room. They painted it and did the floor and everything to the back room. And they did the second bathroom, put the new shower in with the seat and all that, and did the floor and that, and painted the walls. And they put new carpet down in the living room, even though it doesn't look like it's new carpet. But of course, that was 5 years ago too. But
and that was like
they did all these things, and as long as you lived in your house for 4 years, you only had to pay a percentage of it back. It was like $42,000, and I only have to pay back $7,800 and some dollars.
And that was
but I only have to pay that when the house goes out of my name.
Yeah. And so that was some sort of like grant or something they was doing, or?
Yeah, it was a grant they were doing.
That's nice. Yeah. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah,
so
you submitted your application, and then they went through the applications and picked, because they only could do so many houses.
Yeah.
So they went through and picked who was in need, and so they picked my house as one of them.
Yeah.
So I like how you actually asked a follow-up question. She did a pretty decent job of kind of explaining the whole process, but just with that one question and allowing her to talk more about it, it shows that, like, hey, he cares about what she gave. I mean, realistically, we're talking about less than $8,000 in liens. Really not that big of a deal, and quite frankly, doesn't move the needle too much on this deal. I'm assuming the purchase price is more than the $8,000. So again, good question right there. Just kind of getting her to talk that you were paying attention. Now I want to see him get it back on topic of kind of eliminating the objection that she had. I'd like to see him kind of twist that around. Okay, I appreciate that. We're looking about this much as what the payoff is. But going back to your original concern, let me make you feel better about that. That's where I'd like to see him kind of transition the conversation.
Yeah, so just to kind of, I guess, make you feel more comfortable about this. So I'm here in Ohio myself. If you want to FaceTime or something, I can FaceTime to show you. Like I said, it's going to all be ran through a title company. I'll give you their information. You can call them. I've done multiple deals with them. They can tell you, yeah, Tyler's legit. He buys houses. And the only reason that I don't come out before I sign the contract is because we're doing so many deals that, say I were to sign a contract or not sign a contract, and then I come out and then the seller decides either they don't want to sell, or sometimes, the seller just don't show up or whatever. And basically I just don't want to waste my time, so I want to know before I come out. Yeah. So I just want to know before I come out, I do have the option to actually buy this. And like I said, you can look me up on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm everywhere. I'm super, I put myself out there for situations like this.
So solid response. Okay. One of the things that I heard in her objection that I wish she would have kind of clung on to and dug into is that she feels like when she signs the contract that she's signing the house away. He keeps referring to, we're going to close at a title company. But again, you have to put yourself in the position of a homeowner that does not understand how a real estate transaction actually takes place. So I wish you would have dove into, all you're signing is giving me the permission to buy the property for X amount of dollars. This will be sent to the title company. The title company will then verify what liens need to be paid off, how much liens, how much money you're going to get. We will get what's called a settlement statement that shows where all the money is going. Then you will sell me your house, and we will sign those documents together face to face at a title company. And then that's when the money will be dispersed. Because I think that's the actual confusion. She thinks she's giving Tyler the property when she signs this contract, not the closing documents.
To build credibility. But like I said, yeah, if you have an iPhone or something, we can FaceTime right now. I can show you. Heck, I show you around the house.
Well, what does earnest money deposit mean?
Yeah, so I just
see, this is again that some sellers just do not know how real estate transactions take place. So what she's seeing is this earnest money deposit, and he probably put $10. She's probably fearful that she's selling the house for $10. So this is very important that Tyler, answers this correctly and kind of puts to bed this concern, because I think she is very afraid that she is selling the house right now.
I put there is none on there. So basically what that is like, for good faith, I could put $10 in escrow or something. It's like a mythical thing that it's just a sign of good faith.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, it's just a sign of good faith from me. But yeah, so pretty much literally the whole process from here would be, say you sign this now, I would send this over to title today, right now. I would give them your information. I would give you their information. And then they would coordinate the rest of the transaction. So they'll look up all them liens everything. They'll come up with exact dollar amounts of that. And then at closing, so typically we just do a wire. I'm sure if you wanted to do a check in person, they probably could. But, and like I said, you guys can go in person to the title, talk to them, go there, sign your papers. I typically do mine virtually, like how we're doing this one. But you can definitely go in person. And then, yeah, from there, they'll run title, everything get wired, and we're done. It's pretty simple process. The only difference from this and a normal transaction is I'm basically making it easy for you. I'm paying all the fees, and there's no realtor commissions. And like, we may come check it out like twice or something, but other than that, you're not going to have 100 people walking the property. So we're just quick and easy as all the difference is, but we're still using all the same, legalities and title companies. It's not like I'm signing this agreement and then walking it down a back room to the city and handing someone a briefcase or something like that.
Okay, so so you said we would, like, if I signed it today, you would send it to the title company would do its stuff. Okay, and if they come back with the 2 liens I told you about, and then of course there's the taxes that I have to pay, which I'd have to pay anyway, because if I'm thinking it right, when I've sold my other 2 houses, at closing, I would pay taxes up to that date.
Yes, exactly. So say we closed on October 1st, you're responsible till then, and then I take over from there. And then, like I said, I'll pay all the closing and title. So basically, so like the 62,500, you take that, and then whatever liens there are, title will pay that straight from there. Like, they'll take care of it. Just to make, they have to make sure they're not going to take someone's word that they're going to pay a lien. So
no, that's fine. That's how we did it with my other houses.
Yeah. So say,
okay, so he's marching down a good path right now, because now we understand she has done a couple other transactions, and she's starting to relate that experience to what he's saying. So he's building that credibility with explaining, like, if you sign this contract, then we're going to open up title. That third party is going to verify that everything gets paid. So he's marching down a good path right now, and she's starting to understand, all right, you're speaking my language because I've done this before.
The taxes, will they do the taxes too?
Yeah, they should be able to, do everything. And so say, it looks like you probably have $8,000, you said, in liens. So then you would have 54,500 coming to you, and that would just be net to you.
Okay. And then, like I said, though, then they would take the taxes too. I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's everything that I know of that I have against the house that is any kind of lien. I owe my daughter, but I'll be paying that to her myself.
Yeah, and that's why
it's just a personal thing.
Yeah, and that's why we do the title thing, because, like you said, you didn't even know about the 1 lien, and a lot of people have liens and they don't know. So just for me, my safety, I have to make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
And, because if in 10 years I go to sell it and they're like, wait, there's a lien from 2020, then yeah. So it's pretty much for my safety that it's delivered free and clear.
Yeah, and that's great. That's fine, because you're right. I did not even know about the liens from the taxes until I got the letters releasing the 1 lien. This is when I knew there was lien against them.
Yeah.
So, and then when I went in to pay that, to take that off, that's when I found out there was a second one. And then I called them, and
so her tone, in my opinion, has shifted since the beginning of the conversation. There was a tone of concern and worry at the beginning. Now I feel like the tone has now shifted to, hey, we're in this together. She's conversating. She's telling stories about things that have happened in the past. we're on the backside of the problems. I feel like he's kind of overcome that. However, the video is only halfway done, so I'm curious if there's going to be a new issue or a new concern that comes up. And right now, she's just kind of buying herself time to kind of come up with that or figure out how to ask. Because as of right now, I feel like we're on the backside of the objection.
He started out with one amount, and then he said, no, that's not right. And then he calculated something else and said another amount. And then he's looking at something else, and he got down to, I think it was $134. He said something, I've got something written about $58. So I don't know if he went down as low as 58 or 134 was his last number. But anyway,
at least it wasn't another 10 grand lien or something. That's, that would have put a dent in things.
Yeah, it would have. But and those are the only things that the title department told me that was there. So because I checked back when we first was going to sell the house 2 years ago, I checked on it to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
And to find out for sure about that, the lien with the city, because I couldn't remember what year I actually had it done in. And you have to at least wait 4 years so that you only have to pay the least amount back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't heard.
Nice program.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. I know that a couple of them we've had, like, because some of these places we buy are like teardowns. And I know some cities, they'll do grants sometimes where they'll come basically bulldoze and tear down the place for you free of charge, pretty much the same thing just to get rid of the eyesore.
I don't know what they do here for that, but Sydney is tearing down a lot of buildings. Some of them I think is historical, but they're just tearing them down. But I do know the fire department will come out, and if you let them, they'll burn the house so they could do a controlled fire.
Oh yeah.
So this is interesting because now we're going in the place where we're telling stories back and forth. It's not really still on point. I don't have a problem with it because Tyler needs to build that credibility with her, make sure she doesn't feel like he's rushing her to make a decision. But we really are not on the topic whatsoever. We're just kind of building that credibility and conversating back and forth. I don't have a problem with it. We just want to make sure we don't get too lost in the weeds here where we don't stay on point to a certain degree. But she is a talker, and this is probably making her feel better about doing business with Tyler.
And then they take it down from there.
Oh, yeah, that's convenient because, it's crazy, but literally just to, say your house, say it was super bad and it was a tear down, it's probably like $15,000 to tear these places down. And a lot of times the land underneath it ain't worth it.
Okay.
Especially if you're in town, like a small, I had one in, it's actually Barberton. It's near Akron. Same thing. And it was going to be like $10,000 to tear it down. And, the lot was, I don't know, a quarter of an acre or something.
Yeah. They have a few of those lots around here too.
Yeah. Anything that you want me to do or I can do to make you feel more comfortable. But like I said, the process is if you sign it now, I'll send it the title. I typically use Empora. They do like all of Ohio. They're super good. And the reason I like them mainly is because they have like an online portal thing. So you'll get like a message and then you can watch in real time, like the deal, like, they're searching title. It came back. Here's this. And then they'll just communicate with you through there. Like, hey, we need you to sign this, or hey, come do this, or hey, we need your wiring, or whatever it is. So it's really transparent. And like I said, I use them for 95% of my deals. So they know me personally, and they could probably definitely make you feel better about the whole situation as well.
Okay, so once everything is signed and wired, what is the time frame for me to have everything at my house?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say too. I'll probably go ahead and I'll either send a new one or just like an amendment to it since it's went out a little bit. just to push that closing date back because we've, it's been like an extra week or something.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I had surgery on my eye, and yeah.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I got LASIK a couple years ago. It was the best thing I ever did.
Well, I got the cataracts removed on one eye, and they put a stent in because something about glaucoma was starting, and it was the LASIK, or the stuff was just a little bit deeper than they had thought. The cataracts, so it's going to take a little longer to heal. But in 2 weeks, well, now it's a week.
So I think he actually misunderstood what she asked. He was talking about the redoing the contract. What she actually wanted to know is when does she have to be out of the house after closing? So this was more of like a lease back question. But now he's got her talking about something else. So I think we missed something there. I think she's probably going to come back to it, wanting to know how long does she have. This is one of the downsides to doing things on camera, because you want to have it on speakerphone. Sometimes it's hard to hear. I've done this as well. I've gone back, watched some of my calls, and I'm like, dude, I completely just misunderstood what she asked.
And a half, they're going to do the other eye. He didn't want to make it where I couldn't see very well at all.
That's what I'm saying. Did it distort your vision and stuff in that one? Is it like
actually just a little bit, but sometimes it's clear and then it's fuzzy, and he said it's because it's happened to heal because it was a little deeper than they had originally thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But he said it looks like it's doing real good. And sometimes I can see clearer out it than I can see out the other eye. And other times it wants to be a little blurry, especially when I try to read up close.
Yeah. My grandpa gets shots in his eyes, and I couldn't imagine that. It gives me the goosebumps.
I couldn't either. I know they did something to numb them, and then they gave me some anesthetic to. They said they wasn't putting me to sleep, but I don't remember any of it. I mean, none of it.
That was me whenever I got the LASIK. They did a little bit of put me under thing, and afterwards, it literally took like 3 minutes, and they were like, "You need help to the car?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." I took like 3 steps, and I was like, "Maybe you do need to walk me to the car."
Yeah. Okay, so back to the original question, because I'm real good at getting people off the track. The time frame.
Yep. So I'll probably just send another one. I'll cancel the one, send another, and so then it's up to you. I could put out. So you would just have to have everything out before closing. So, and not have it out, like whatever you want to keep there, stay there. Like that's fine. We'll clean it out, but whatever you want. And so if you think that's going to take you another month, I can just put the closing out to say November. I could just put that out.
Actually, I don't think it will take us a month, but probably if we put it for, hold on, of course I don't have a calendar.
Yeah, and we can so we can close any time before that. It's just it has to close by that date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so say we even put November, or October 24th. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks away. That way you're not rushing, you're not stressing about it. And then if you're like, hey, we're done, then we can close before. It's totally up to you.
Okay. Actually, that would be fine.
Okay. That kind of makes it easier on me too. A lot of people want to do it like quick, but it takes off the stress of everything. So I'd rather push it out a little bit.
Yeah, well, with these surgeries and stuff, it takes a little longer for me to do things. So, and there is stuff. A lot of this stuff in here is to go.
So I really like how when it came to the time frame again, he said, he picked the date, November 1st, then he comes back, he backs off of by a week, October 24th. And then when she's like trying to figure out exactly how long it's going to take her, again, another way to kind of relieve her of the concerns that she's going to have. Hey, that's just it happens on or before that date. Really good job, because then it completely relaxed again. Now she's back to telling stories. I'm assuming there's going to be one more thing that comes up along the way here, just based off the length. Now she's a talker, so she could just take it the rest of this just telling stories. But I'm assuming there's going to be one more objection to get to where we can actually close the deal.
So it's not like it's there's going to be a whole bunch of trash here.
Yeah. Well, and that's what, if there is, like, that's fine. So that's kind of the convenience of me too, is, you know, don't order a dumpster and try to get rid of everything. Like I'll do all that.
Okay. Sounds great. My husband should be back in an hour or two. He went to Bible study with the men. And I will tell him, we'll discuss everything you just said. Now, one last thing.
Yep.
What do you mean by wire?
There it is. The one last thing. And I will say, I've actually seen people say this before in their closing line. Would you prefer a wire or a check? And so we always have to be cognizant of that, because quite frankly, to some people, saying the word wire is scary. As business owners, we live in the world where wires happen all the time, but to some homeowners, specifically elderly, it can be a concern. They know about wire fraud. They hear about wire fraud. They hear about the money being shipped to somewhere else and it doesn't go to your account. So just can be a concern. I told you there'd be one more thing he had to overcome in this, and sure enough, it was something that he said.
So, like, that's basically, they could just send the money, like, straight from my bank to your bank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's just the easy way. But if you feel more comfortable, I'm sure they could do a check. But basically, it's just, yeah, the easy way to just, you know, take it from this cloud and put it over here to this cloud in your bank.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
I thought that's what it meant, but I just wanted to check and make sure.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll cancel this one, and then I'll redo it, put the closing date out, send it over, and then maybe if I don't hear from you by later, I'll give you a call, and if he wants to talk or he has any questions, I can talk to him. I definitely want you to feel comfortable about it, you know, and like I said, I'm just a good old Southern Ohio boy myself, and
okay, if you could just go ahead and put it for November the 1st, since you said we can close early if we get done.
Yep.
Just in case. It takes us a little longer to move this stuff out of here.
Yeah.
There's a lot, but there isn't. You know, like all those trash bags in that room is closed. That is going to a clothes closet or whatever you want to call it downtown. And yeah, they said I have enough clothes that I could change my clothes every day and not wear the same outfit for a year.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
So again, he overcame that one objection over the wire. She now understands. Now she's back to telling stories, talking about what she has to go to. She's already changed the date from October 21st to November 1st. Again, this is a very common follow-up call to a contract, because now she's actually thinking about, this is reality. Like, I'm actually selling my house. I actually have to move out. Is this for real? Is it too good to be true? She's starting to think about everything that she has to pay off. How does that get paid off? Because a lot of times people don't know that it can get paid out of the closing proceeds. This is a very good example of a follow-up call right here. And I think Tyler's done a great job so far. Looks like we've got a couple more minutes to see. Make sure there's not one more objection.
So those, you know, getting them out and then taking them where they need to go, you know, will be a simple thing. But I do want to make sure that none of my bags of the clothes I need got mixed in. So I'll check each one. So that's going to take time, because trust me, I've already been doing this for 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Moving stuff.
Well, I was looking. Is there any way you can send me over them pictures again? I lost them in this phone somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
can do that.
yeah. I don't, like I said, my phone has its own brain half the time, and it don't do what I tell it to do. So,
Okay, that room was the very last room that we did, and so it needs the floor, the ceiling, and 2 pieces of the wall put up. And then my son had started putting heat, going ahead and running heat ducts from the original heating system,
mm-hmm.
and to that room and to the back half of the bathroom, because neither one of them had heat. He didn't get it all done, but I can leave the hoses, the whatever vents,
Yeah,
the vent hoses. I can leave those because I mean he had it all. He just never got it done.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be perfect.
Before he became a resident of the state.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. He's always been a dreamer, and yeah, he follows the wrong part of his body. So yes, I will send that over, and so that you'll have that.
All right, perfect. Yeah, just shoot.
I don't know if it shows it very well, but I do want to let you know the back spouting is starting to come down because the raccoons has pulled it down to try and get in the house. So it will have to be put back up. I was going to have one of the boys help me do it, but they, with school starting and everything, they've got too many other things to do.
Yeah, totally.
So that it does have to be put back up.
Okay, perfect then. Yeah, I mean, it all sounds good to me. I'll do another one for November 1st. If you can send them pictures over, then
okay.
Yeah, I'll get this over to, after you talk to your husband and stuff, I'll get it to title. Like I said, if he has any questions or wants to talk, just anytime I can take a call.
Okay.
So awesome. Sounds good. And I appreciate it, Sharon. And I'll talk soon.
All
right. Thanks. Bye.
So what an interesting phone call. One thing I'm going to give Tyler a lot of credit for, specifically there at the end, it's hard to stay engaged during that conversation because it starts off with objection, then it's story time, then it's objection, then it's story time, objection, back to story time. Then she starts diving into raccoons and, something's missing and I got too much clothes. It's hard when you do this all day, every day, to stay mentally and just focused on what the seller is telling you. I thought you did a pretty decent job of that throughout. I thought you did a pretty decent job of overcoming the objections. For those of you that don't know, Tyler is he's wearing it is the Titanium University First Class. He's a first class member of Titanium University. He came to me late last year, and was trying to figure out what wholesaling was and how to get started and should he do PPL or should he do cold calling and what should he do. He has progressed so rapidly. I'm so proud of him, and it's just awesome to watch that in literally less than a year, he went from not even knowing what wholesaling was to being able to overcome those types of objections, get properties under contract. He's going live. He's building out his YouTube channel. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, Tyler Osborne. Just so proud of you, brother. Honored to have you inside the Titanium University family. I love this call. I thought it was extremely powerful example because it wasn't, quote unquote, the closing call. It was a follow-up call, but these are the ones that get you that signed contract with these types of sellers. You have to master these calls just as much as the initial call. You did a great job, man. I know you're a closer because I've seen the deals that you've closed. I've seen where you've grown, and I love the progression that you have, and I can't wait to see where you're going to be another year from now. We'll have to do another one of Tyler a year from now, but love you, brother. Appreciate everything. Proud of you. Like I said, go subscribe to Tyler's YouTube channel. show him the support, and just follow along on his journey, man. It's going to be a wild ride. Proud of you. Hey, let me know what you think about Tyler in the comments. Make sure you give us a like, and we'll see you next week on The King Closer Reacts.